Welcome to Retro Rants. Sorry about doing that, but not really. I'm not even gonna lie to y'all. It's pretty funny, actually. Thank you for being here to what feels like an exclusive channel. I don't know why that is. There are a lot of people watching, but there aren't a whole lot of people finding this channel. I've plugged the crap out of it over on the main Prepper Nation page. A lot of people will say, "Hey, man, you need to post more than one video a day." I'm like, I literally am over here on this channel. Come check us out. But I think maybe people think it's a paid service over here or something. Anyway, we're going to be ranting today, and we're going to be ranting about people need to stop being so stupid. Oh, it's going to be a rant, right? And people need to put a little bit of effort into life, into life in general. So that's what we're talking about. I'm going to be all over the place, but there's there's some good stuff in here, I think. So we begin with the Rainbow Crowd, or the Rainbow Mafia, as they're sometimes called on Prepper Nation, and they're protesting for Palestine. Peace for Palestine. The Rainbow Mafia stands with Palestine. How stupid you got to be here, son? How stupid does somebody have to be? This is like chickens walking around holding up signs, protect KFC. Are you- I can't even fathom how stupid some of these protests are. The only thing I can figure, okay, during the Vietnam era and during segregation and all this stuff, there were a lot of protests, and these were very important protests and things. And they're very historical. They needed to happen. And the only thing I can figure is the younger generation really doesn't know what to protest about, but they just want to be part of something historical. They are, but they're historically stupid, which we're going to get into, because these people can't find Palestine on a map. They can't find Israel on a map. I've watched videos, where people, not to change my mind ones, but there are other ones. We're going to get into one specifically where they've said, "Hey, you stand with Palestine?" Yes. Where's it at on the map? Uh, and they're pointing over here to Australia or something like this. So, excuse me, as I've said before, countless times, I might add, I'm 100% for protesting peacefully. I believe there needs to be a right to protest, right? We need this. Our voice needs to be heard one way or another peacefully. That's the key, okay? But at least know why you are protesting. This drives me bananas. It drives me loco, son. These people don't even know why. So this comes from a channel called Liberty Hangout on YouTube. And I saw this, what is today? Thursday. I saw this maybe Tuesday or Wednesday morning. Maybe Tuesday morning. And it was about Memorial Day. They were in, the lady and her camera crew, I don't know who all it involves. They were in Virginia Beach because there was a Memorial Day celebration. A lot of people celebrating Memorial Day at the beach, right? I guess in Virginia Beach. So she was going around with the microphone, and she was approaching groups of people, 20 somethings in most cases. And you can pull it up again, Liberty Hangout. And she was asking them, what is the meaning behind Memorial Day? I see you folks are out here celebrating, why do we celebrate Memorial Day here in the United States? And the entire group, there'll be like 8 people. They start looking at each other. They're waiting to find out who the smartest cookie in this bunch is, because they're all, at this point, they realize, okay, we're all dumb. We're dumber than rubber dog crap here. There's got to be at least one of us that knows why. So here's some of the answers that she was given on camera. To remember the friends that we've lost. They actually said to remember our dead homies. And she said specific homies or all the homies. And he was like, all the homies. So she was like, to celebrate the friends we've lost. To remember our blessings. That's what Memorial Day is all about. Should remember your blessings, but it's not necessarily tied into Memorial Day. To celebrate our veterans. And she was like, well, that's a pretty good answer, but that's Veterans Day. This is a totally different day. And finally, the smartest person in the group, not kidding, said, "We won World War II. That's why we have Memorial Day." And you could tell she realized she keyed in on this person at this point, and she's bird dogging. She's like, okay, we got somebody who is at least sniffing down the right path, right? I can tell the rest of you are by default Swifties and Joe Biden fans, but at least one person realizes it has something to do with war. Okay, we're going here, right? And then she proceeds to ask, she lets him know, well, you're getting warmer. Who did we fight in World War II? Crickets all across. But the smartest cookie in the bunch says, and I quote, Vietnam and maybe North Korea too. That was the answer. They they went on to say, World War II, Pearl Harbor. And she was like, yes, I'm aware of Pearl Harbor. She said, where is Pearl Harbor? He said, Florida. Pearl Harbor's in Florida, folks, in case you didn't know. And and we fought Vietnam and North Korea um during World War II. Um, and you begin to realize as you watch these videos, again, that's a Liberty Hangout here on YouTube. In case you're bored and you need a laugh, you begin to realize that the numbers are all a lie. All of the numbers that we see on TV, son, all of them, they're like 10,000 protesters turned out to this, pro-Palestine event here in New York City, and you realize at this point, only 500 of these people know why they're even there. The rest of them, the 9,500 using the John math, carrying the ones and the zeros, right? I think that's correct. The rest of them, they have no clue. They're just there because their buddies are there. And their buddies are there because they're there. They're packing out an event and they have no idea why. They don't know where Palestine's at. They can't spell Palestine. They don't know Palestine's at war. They don't know any of the history of that region. Nothing. Nothing. It's just a reason to put the flip-flops on and get out and yell and twerk and whatever. It's the same with these people, and I see this often. I do. It's not just Ukraine, but I'm going to use Ukraine as an example. I stand with Ukraine bumper stickers on like Teslas or Priuses. I stand with Ukraine. No, you don't. If you really stood with Ukraine, you would be in Ukraine. If you cared, if you were that emotionally invested in what is going on with Ukraine right now, they will take you. They're begging for international soldiers. And again, not just Ukraine. You really care for Palestine? Hey, they'll take you. You might have to wear something over your face if you're a female because you're treated like cattle, but nonetheless, they'll take you. These countries will take you. You stand with Russia, go. The Russians will take you. They'll pay you, whatever. But you don't. You don't actually stand with these causes. You put the bumper sticker on there because you saw it in a convenience store, and every other little jabron out here has one on their car in your neighborhood. And that's the truth of it. And in tough times, most of these people are going to fold like Boeing whistleblowers because they're not tough. I said it. They're not tough because tough times to these people are, oh man, my local coffee shop, they shut down for 2 days. They don't have employees. What am I going to do? Starbucks doesn't have my favorite refresher. What am I going to do? How am I going to have to make this? Let me get on Pinterest real quick. What am I supposed to do? Netflix isn't working. Oh God, what do I do? DoorDash. There's nobody picking up my order. What am I going to do? I'd pull my hair out if I had any, son. Oh my God. For y'all that were here yesterday. Oh my God. Like, it's sprinkling rain. Like, this is ridiculous. Like, we had a whole beach day planned, and like now it's sprinkling rain. Like, what are we going to do? It's 10-1 for me. What am I talking about? I I would stack up 10 of these little soft belly social justice warriors against every single one of you patriots. Because I think one of you patriots is worth at least 10 of these individuals. Now, I'm not talking on a personal level. Everybody has worth. I don't want to be a scumbag. I'm saying, in terms of toughness, right? Instead, in terms of standing knuckle, toe to toe, these people that are demanding civil war and they're out in the streets and they got the old Navy flip flops and they're like, we need civil war, like right now, 10-1. All day long, I'm taking those odds, right? Us conservatives, we are stubborn. I admit it. If I'm stubborn, I'm hard headed about certain things. I'm not going to come off the fact that I think a constitutional republic is the freest form of government that this world has ever seen. Stubborn in that way, stubborn in many ways, but at least we know why. At least we know why we're being so hard headed. All right. And I don't know what to blame this on with these people. These people, again, that just show up and they don't even know why they're there. I don't know if it's the parenting or lack thereof. I don't know if it's social media that has gutted the minds of these people. Like they have 4 brain cells, and 3 of those, are taking the day off. I don't know if it's the education system as a whole that's completely failed these. I don't know where to place the blame, but I'll say this: it's discouraging. Not because I give a skanky rat's rear end about what these people are doing with their life. They can go out in the streets of New York and Chicago. I don't care. I'm not there. I sit at home and laugh and drink Bones coffee now that I know where to get it canned. But here's why it's discouraging to me, since we're ranting. These people are complete morons, but they're quick to stand up. They're quick to stand up en masse, even though they have no idea why and have each other's backs. They may have their little trash can shields and their little bandanas on their faces, but they're quick to stand up. Bro, we're going down here to protest. What are you protesting? We're not sure. Okay, I'm with you. I'm down. We ride or die. Let's go, son. And they grab their little soy lattes and they go. But at least they go. Patriots, on the other hand, they know exactly, why. But so few actually stand up. And that's the discouraging part. Can you imagine how strong of a movement conservatives would have if they showed up in mass like this and they actually knew why they were there and knew what they were talking about? It would probably be country changing to a degree. Our most powerful weapon is our voice. And every time I say this over on the main channel, it's been a while since I said it, but I've said it multiple times. Our voice is our most powerful weapon. And I will hear this. But my AK, but my AR, my scope is more powerful than a voice, right? And I respect it. I get it. I'm not shaming people for thinking that way. But I want you to think about historically how things go down, okay? During an occupation, when a country is being occupied, World War II, let's just take Germany rolling into France, for example, okay? They roll into France. They start burning books. Why would they do this? Why would they do this? Because the books that they're burning have the voice of freedom, perhaps, the ideals of freedom, the ideals of revolution, and they're trying to stop that voice from spreading. The Germans are more afraid, they don't want you to have guns either, but they're more afraid of the voice because, again, even they knew it was the most powerful weapon. It's why they use propaganda so effectively against their own people, right? Oftentimes, when there's an occupation or even going back to slavery, people are forbidden to seek out an education. You can go to the colonies. No. If you're doing that kind of work on the farm, you need to be big, strong, and stupid. We don't want you to be educated, right? If you're being occupied by another country, we don't need you learning anything. right? You go to the Middle East right now, since everybody's standing with Palestine, they don't want their people to be educated. Why? Because they're afraid of the voice of freedom. Because when people who are actually oppressed, I know these soy boys and soy girls out here in Seattle think they're being oppressed, right? Because they got rainbow colored hair and somebody dared glance their way and say, "Oh my God, look at that girl with the rainbow colored hair. I wonder what that's about." Oh my God, like I'm so oppressed at this point. Like it's not even funny anymore. I feel like a prisoner. Like seriously. I'm talking about people that are actually oppressed. Go to the Middle East. Those people are oppressed. Their government will not allow them to become educated. Why? Because the right voice can inspire a million AKs. Yes, an AK or an AR, whatever. I don't want to start that debate. Great weapons, scope. If you know how to handle them, you know how to handle them. Okay. But you're one person at the end of the day. But your voice, if it's magnified and if it rings true with enough people, Napoleon was excellent with this. For those that don't know about Napoleon, he got banished from his own country. He got put on an island. He spent a year or so deciding, hey, I'm going to go back and I'm going to take France back. And he gets to the shore. He don't have a weapon. Soldiers all over the place, son, going through this country. They have orders to arrest him on sight, right? The government in France just continues to send more and more soldiers. Go arrest him. We don't know what's going on. But what was going on is Napoleon was such a dynamic speaker, and he spoke to the hearts of the soldiers. And he was like, what is going on in the capital? It's not cool. And I'm here to fix it. And I need you on my side. And before you knew it, the entire army, because of his voice, was behind Napoleon. And the tyrants fled. They grabbed their belongings and they're running away. And he went in, no shots fired, just went in. That is what a proper voice can do. That's why it's so important. This is what the cabal or the one world government fears. I know the one world government, it's been like a pipe dream for a long time for the elites. It's not going to happen anytime soon. I think that they believe they're close, but they're not close because there's too many voices of freedom. Too many. And it only takes one. It takes the right one. As I've said before, I ain't the guy, but I know that person's out there. That Thomas Paine is out there. And once that Thomas Paine gets a megaphone or reaches a certain status on social media or gets into politics, it's game over for the one world government because that will begin to spread. And there will be wars. There will be a lot of tough times, but the cabal will collapse. It's going to happen. But not anytime soon. Why? Because we have a nation full of idiots. We have conservatives who oftentimes they won't stand up. They won't even speak up because they're afraid of being singled out, right? Or targeted. I don't want to lose my job. I don't want my boss or my, fellow employees to think I'm a bad person. Therefore, I'm going to keep my mouth shut. This sort of thing. But the useful idiots I'm talking about, again, are the people that are showing up because Taylor Swift said, hey, you need to show up, son. Anyway, that's my rant for the day. Thank y'all very much for being here. God bless.